Okay, so now I've got the Minnesota Vikings draft reaction. I'll look at each pick, give my thoughts, and then give an overall grade at the end. So first pick, very good pick personally. Christian Darrisaw. They get him at pick 23 after trading down. I think they could have picked him at pick 14. It still would have been a good pick. So they trade down to 23, get a lot of good value from the Jets. No, from Seattle. Was it the Jet? Yeah, it was because they traded up for Elijah Vera Tucker. So Christian Darrisaw, very good player. Trade back and get him one of the best tackles in class. Also very good scheme fit. Will really help them in the running game, and very good value also. Because I thought he could have gone much earlier. This one immediately improved the offensive line, replacing Riley Reef. And then just took a flyer on Kellen Mond. Like I like it. I quite like Kellen Mond. I think he can definitely be a starter in the league. He can develop into a really good player. I think he did have very good production at Texas A&M. Just wasn't like anything that exciting. That's the thing. Like he was just a good quarterback. That's kind of it. So a third round, I really like him. I think he was like kind of that second tier of quarterbacks, and I think you definitely take a shot. I think he's one of the highest upside from any of the other quarterbacks outside of like the top five. I think he definitely can be a good player in the league. Like one of those players who's coming out of the third round. Good replacement for Kirk Cousins in the future, possibly. So I like it, and it's a pick that they got for trading down also. And then they picked Chaz Surratt in the third round. I probably would have took him in like the fourth, but they kind of need another linebacker. They lost some players. They already got Eric Wilson, who is good. No, Eric Wilson they lost. It was Eric Hendricks is very good, but he was also injured at some points last year. So you do need more linebackers. And Chaz Surratt, very smart player, was a former quarterback, so has those amazing instincts, but just really needs to learn the linebacker position more because he just misses tackles and just doesn't do that well, like just as a linebacker perspective. But he has high upside. Just of course, being a former quarterback, definitely got that high upside. Of course, just guy's the ceiling, and he does have pretty good size also, being 6'2". And then they've got Wyatt Davis with the other pick that they traded down and got, who's one of the best guards in the class, probably like definitely top five guard in the class. So they get him in the third round. That's very good. He'll be a starter straight away. I wouldn't be surprised if him and Christian Darrisaw are there for a while because he's a very good refined prospect. He also has pretty good athleticism for being a big boy on that offensive line. So I really like Wyatt Davis, man. And they just got two starters on this offensive line in this draft, which I think is very good, especially since their O-line wasn't looking very good beforehand. And now I've got a pretty legit O-line. I think it's really taken that team up to the next step that they need to go to. And then they got Patrick Jones. Yeah, I don't mind taking a shot on him. Maybe third round, a little bit rich for him. Patrick Jones, very good, like, power rusher. Also has pretty good athleticism. Just really big dude who was amazing stopping the run. And could be a good rotational player. Probably not going to be that like elite player in the future, but I think definitely good rotational player to have. And a team that does need more edge rush, I don't think it's bad. They could still use some players there because they kind of only got Daniel Hunter. And then I went for Kenny Ngannou, fourth round, very rich for him. Like I would probably only take him in the sixth, seventh round. He just has athleticism. That's it. Like really good athlete. Doesn't really know what he's doing when he's running the ball. He could be a good like backup to Dalvin Cook, but in the fourth round, I don't like the pick that much. Probably the worst pick so far. And then I went for Cameron Bynum, pretty decent pick. Good corner, probably not ready to start straight away. Will be a good special teamer straight away also though, so that's pretty good. But a team that could just use good depth on that secondary also. I mean, every team could. And of course, with that stuff happening with Jeff Gladney, you don't know what's going to happen there. So you take Cameron Bynum, who can maybe be a good player. Like, I mean, Jeff Gladney wasn't that good last year, so Cameron Bynum, he could definitely be a good player, I think. Could be a sleeper, because he's a pretty decent corner. And then Janarius Robinson, they got another edge rusher, so I like it. He's also a pretty decent player, fourth round. I'd take a shot on him here, maybe more the fifth round. But, I mean, pretty long player who has good size. There's a lot of upside, but that's kind of it. I mean, so you definitely have something to build off of. And of course, they had Daniil Hunter, who did not have a lot of production, but came into the league, developed into a really good player. And then it took Amir Smith Marset. He could be a good third receiver, I think, for the Vikings. I mean, he's got really good speed. That's kind of all he really has. Not the best route runner, but he can definitely improve. But good against the press and everything. Good size. Just all around pretty decent slot receiver, which he'll probably be. He definitely come in. They don't use three receivers that much, but I think definitely he could take over that third receiver role, which they kind of needed another player that could be productive. So I like Amir Smith Marset there. And then it took Zach Davison. Yeah, take a shot on a really good athlete. Fifth round, probably not his range, but he's a good athlete. Of course, he was on Division 2, so it's not that amazing competition he's playing. You can be a good replacement for Rudolph, kind of be that red zone player, and they kind of need backup in that tight end room, so I like it. And then I just took a shot on Jalen Twyman, which I also like, because he was getting a lot of hype beforehand, like being like, oh, second round, third round, maybe even first. Like, that's what he was getting. Because, I mean, his highlights were that good, but then you actually look at him, and he just wasn't that amazing, but he definitely, for a good backup on your defensive line, I think he can be that. So Jalen Twyman, I'd take a shot on him 6th, 7th round. You kind of just trying to get good best player available. I think he definitely probably was around that range. So overall, this draft pretty good for the Vikings. Like the first picks kind of made their whole draft good, and then I like some other picks like spread out, like Cameron Bynum. I liked Amir Smith Marset was bad. Even Janaris Robinson I quite liked. Even Zach Davis and Jalen Twyman, they were pretty good picks. Wyatt Davis, good pick. Chasserat, you could see it. Calamond, good. Christian Darish are good. I think A plus. A plus. You're not gonna get a perfect draft. Not every pick's gonna be your favorite. Not every pick's gonna pan out. Definitely, I don't think anybody's really had a draft where every player has been good, pretty much. So I think they got a lot of players that can be that, like be really good players in the future, and they got starters I think all over the place here. So I like it, and they picked up some good undrafted free agents. Also, they just had a good draft, like very good draft for the Vikings. So A plus, really good, and I mean pretty decent for the Vikings. Well done. So the next two drafts I'm gonna do are the Patriots and the Saints. So you better stay tuned for that, and see ya.